Welcome to the Offspace podcast. It's your host, the motherfucking most, True Offer.
And it's your favorite co-host, Ezgo Offer, smiling like a dumbass. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm here, man.
And we are here today to get it cranking on the ongoings. I mean, to be quite honest, there is a lot that happened. Actually, as we are speaking, there's still stuff going on. So we were definitely lucky to not record yesterday so we don't get all of this shit to you guys like a week later. So, I mean, I guess late for once is actually a blessing, but how are you feeling this week?
What was that saying? Always late, but never... Man, fuck. I don't even know. But anyway, it's going to be a quality pod. I'm feeling good. I don't know. I've just been feeling like there's a lot to do, and the New Year spirit's kind of hitting me. So, feeling good, but I'm feeling focused. I'm feeling dedicated. I woke up today for the first time in a while, like pretty early. Started my day at 8 a.m., and I was just happy for it because I've been kind of trying to do a reset as of late to kind of get back on track and start buckling down with just the more responsibilities that I'm going to be hit with because, you know, school and semester starting back up, just trying to get back into like the swing of like regular job combined with just like trying to make my own money on my side, like hustles and shit, and just being as productive as I can for like what I want to accomplish. So I'm kind of happy for it, but it's feeling surreal, you know. It feels like the fun and the break's over, but it's back to real life because this last half a year has been a fucking break, to say the least.
Amen, amen. And on my personal side, I feel pretty good. I felt pretty good for the last week. It's been a good kickoff into the new year. Had a blast last weekend with my dogs and with my homegirls. Just kind of ringing in the new year in our own little separate area. But really, none of that shit matters. There's no reason to qualify here. Other than that, it's just been kind of a good mental reset. It's felt 2021 like every other year when it gets to January and people feel all of the vigor of taking over the world and then they let it go away by February. It's felt similar to that, but it's felt different in a vein of knowing that most of the shit that I have as goals, I started before the new year started. So now it's felt a little bit, at least to me personally, like a sigh of relief. It's not like anything's magically changed when that clock struck 12, but it was just gratitude, to be honest, more than anything. Just being grateful to the world, the universe, God, like whatever y'all believe in. I know I believe in God myself, but just being grateful for being able to make it through something that was such tumultuous times for so many people, such lows emotionally, such lows mentally, such lows financially, my God. But we made it. It's the start of the new year. It's the hope of an upturn. We've seen a lot of changes in the United States. We've seen a lot of craziness, but I'm one that likes to just stay positive, you know, likes to, at least when it comes to my future, and when it comes to the future of the people that I believe desire a future like I do. So, I mean, I guess it's felt kind of like a phoenix rising from the ashes type shit. Like, I mean, we're still dusting our shit off. We're still trying to get pretty. And we're still trying to look good for this new year. But it feels like it's only up from here.
That's good, man. That's good. I don't know about you, but maybe. Tell me if you have the same general feeling, right? It's almost like every year when the New Year's comes around and we roll into whatever that next one is, shit, 2008 to 2009, you know, 11 to 2012, you get it. It feels like it never actually is that new year until like a month in. And I'm like holding on to that last year because that's kind of where I'm at. This is the first time it's felt like as soon as I clock hit 12, we're in 2021. Like we're here. We did it. We made it. We're on to a new one. So, I don't know. I feel like, do you feel that? I feel like a lot of people are right now, so it makes sense.
For sure. Just because people have such a negative connotation, and I still, to this day, will repeat it till I lose breath in my lungs in regards to last year. Like, it was definitely the best year of my life just because of how much I value growth and letting myself actually do that. But that being said, this is going to be one of the easiest years, I think, for teachers and like professors when it comes to students and their assignments and things like that, because no one's about to mess up and actually write 2020. A lot of people, this was the first time that people were just stoked that it's the next one. Like, okay, let's move on. Let's just try something
Keep
again.
It pushing.
For sure. So I definitely feel that. But moving right along from a little bit of our wrap up, one thing we do want to announce is, yes, this is beautiful episode 99. So my birthday is in a couple days. January 8th, the day the son was born, and El Nino, El Chico, the kid, 1994, January 8th, Grady Hospital, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out.
Don't say I never did nothing, bro. I held back on a lot there. Don't say I never did nothing for you.
No, bro, I expected it, to be honest, the way you've been attacking me lately, but that's a story for another time.
Oh, my God.
But,
Oh, my God.
With my birthday being this week, that's the main, typical, I guess, resolutions and shit that I had, but I kind of pushed it back for a year. Well, not a year, a week this year. It's one, you guys should not see any more of these in the video after this week. So episode 100 should be the first one that y'all don't see me puffing in anxiety after I just talk about my emotions for a second or a little shit like that. But two, the eating regimen, just because the warm weather and plans that we have for this year, we have to be the best looking people in the city of Atlanta. And fortunately, we already are the best looking people in the city of Atlanta. So we just have to reach a status where we feel that in mind, body, and spirit and in totality. And so just getting ourselves prepared on all fronts, just getting healed, just feeling our best, looking our best.
Bro,
it's about to be dangerous.
I'm the most excited person for the fact that I know I'm about to be 24. And at my big age, bro, I'm finally seeing these hairs down here. I know y'all were talking a lot of shit on it. People only talk shit and say, mind your business and don't worry about a beard when they fucking have one. Y'all don't know how it feels not to, all right? So mine coming in.
For sure, that's dope.
I'm living in it.
Yes, sir, Ski. Hopefully, we pray for accelerated growth. It's been taking its sweet time.
Okay, I feel like I'm watching a movie at this point.
Jesus Christ. But other than that, I guess, what are your heat checks for this week? What do you feel music-wise? What have you been listening to?
I've been listening to... So, thing about me, and I feel like we've said it on here, which maybe not, because I know we try not to, give too much about what we're planning on doing anymore, because sometimes we're human beings, we fall short on it, But that being said, we might have had this conversation. But I really enjoy live performances, so... I was listening to one the other day. It might have been the Paying Black Girls remix, a while ago when that first dropped. The colors for it, and YouTube has the autoplay, right? So the autoplay immediately went into me listening to Amaarae, Leave Me Alone, and that girl has such a beautiful, soft voice that just set me at ease, and I really enjoyed it. So that was my heat check. I know it's out on all streaming platforms past just YouTube and shit, so go ahead and check that out if you get the chance, because I feel like, honestly, a lot of people will enjoy it too.
Hey, shout out to Amaarae, Leave Me Alone. And for me, this week has been kind of like a dead week in music, which is going to lead to a part of the music discussion that we have today, because I do have a couple questions leading into this new year. But for me, the heat check's just gonna be ASAP Rocky Peso. I know I've done something from that tape before, so I may have. Sorry, that was just a song that kind of embodied how I feel as of late. I don't know.
You've been feeling like that?
It's just an internal feeling. I was chilling yesterday, and then I said out loud, as Drake was rapping on, I think, the BB King freestyle, to be honest, which we've already talked about on here as well. I was like, I need to make my life match how Drake sounds on tracks like that. And you get that feelings of that nigga, I guess. Feelings of being that guy, that dude. And a song like Peso embodies that for me as well. Because at the end of the day, it's crazy. If y'all know the nitty gritty, the ups and downs and the realities of life currently, which I'm not embarrassed of, nobody should be embarrassed of. We're in certain points of our lives. Just in your current situation does not outline your worth and what you really amount to in this world. But that being said, it's some would say it might be crazy for the amount of and the feeling of that nigga I do feel at all times. But it's I feel consistently the light at the end of the tunnel, right? But I feel it's been years. It's 27 years, damn near. 2 days from now, it will be 27 years exactly, that it feels like I've been in that tunnel, just creeping, crawling, walking towards that light. And I finally feel that light's warmth. I'm really about to walk in and step into whatever the fuck is out there for me and whatever the fuck is given to me. And so no matter what shitty stuff happens as of late, no matter what like happens that is against what I'd like, or no matter what's going on, I always feel hope. You know, like I always feel like you can do this, like you can finish this, like you can figure this out, and you can accomplish anything. And that itself shows some of the work that I've done, and that itself is a blessing to me. And so, yes, ASAP Rocky Peso just outlines once again, like the way Rocky was talking on those tapes, like you couldn't tell that man nothing. You couldn't tell him nothing. Like you could see the way he feels, you could see the way he bobs. And really, that was a long-winded way of saying I haven't listened to shit this week, other than like the Vori tape, and so like I've definitely picked a good throwback song.
Hasn't listened to new shit. Always listening to music.
Oh yeah, music is consistently.
I like what you said there, and to be honest though, it's funny because I want to like hit on some of the other stuff, but it's just that ending part about I haven't listened to shit. There's really people out there who will go like a week, 2. Or however long you just not listen to music. Like they might hear it in like passing by some shit or like maybe on TV, but there's really people out there just don't like listening to music. And that's always been so weird to me because of like how much I feel like you don't have to be like an enthusiast for all forms of art, but I feel like there's no one who's actively going out of their way to dodge some shit that is like just forever present.
I feel like you have to try to avoid music.
It's like, always there.
But once again, it's important to our lives, so it means something there. So I understand that to a sense, but it's like I honestly can't remember the last day of my life without purposefully, like intentionally listening to music.
Yeah, because even on like a down period, shit, it could be before bed or like when you wake up, a down period of doing something or whatnot. You're just going through like a mundane task. Like there's always a time where I thought to myself, you know what? Drake could make this better. You know, Snow Allegro would make this better.
The greatest ever. But that's funny. But moving into the... actually, before we continue and get to new music, which I have literally one song to talk about before giving some sad news, of course. But I wanted to ask you, since I didn't finish outlining, there was the giving up the vaping, January 8th. And
I'm happy you decided to do that for yourself.
For sure. And then changing eating habits, you know, to kind of, actually this is a shout out to Judah, just to be completely honest, because he gave me the phrase, he gave me the phrase that I think I want to use for this eating journey. Like it's going to be a period of time that I'm really just readjusting my insides basically, but it's going to be drinking a lot less. Like I'm going to be trying to enjoy myself and have fun with the homies for this weekend for the birthday, but then I'm going to really get into lock-in mode because I'm trying to, like when I say I'm trying to get my body to a certain place, there's no jokes about this. I want to get my body to a place that I truly feel like you can be called up to Men's Fitness tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like you can hop into the ring and fight somebody if you need to talk, and it's just stamina that's holding you back. Like I'm trying to really get yourself healthy, and on top of that, just fix some of the issues that we've caused for X years, you know.
I'm about to say, man,
for sure.
Definitely. Dude, I want to go ahead and preface something though, because I feel like I don't have to, but at the same time, I did have a conversation with some people that feel passionately on a certain topic yesterday that opened up my eyes to certain things when it comes to diet culture / fat phobia and whatnot. And like, I really am taking it serious, and I'm only smiling because the person, and if you knew them and whatnot, it is like a funny exchange all the time. But a lot of these goals we set for ourselves highlight things that we want to do. I know a lot of people feel the type of way about weighing a certain amount or whatever, or looking a certain way, and like just being okay with who you are. A lot of what we want to do will require certain things, and so when you get to that point, that's satisfying. Not so much that you feel like you had to exist at that point, but it's knowing that you accomplished your goal for doing what you want to do with what you were working for. Because I know there was a point where, to be fair, I know everyone always has underlying insecurities and shit, but there was a point where you were pretty big, you know? And I remember there was a point where I was pretty big. And to be fair, both of us at those times, at some point, felt pretty good about themselves. And it's like, it had nothing to do because we just had no goals for our bodies like that. Because we didn't want to,
I was titties out like I was Gucci, man.
For sure.
I swore I was the sexiest nigga in the world. 270. What? It's still
like, and you know how people always talk about all their weight, women always talk about all their weight goes to their ass? I was that nigga who all his weight went to my ass, bro. Double cheeked up on a Tuesday. And I was just so happy. But it's like for where we are right now and the goals that we have set for ourselves, which everybody doesn't have to like follow, but it just feels so nice knowing that those are there and we're on track for getting there. You know what I mean? And like mentality getting shaped to actually see those being done.
And one good thing one thing that, I mean, all jokes and laughter aside, it is important that we highlight that, because we understand there are people out here on this planet that maybe look a different way than what like society deems like the right way to look or the conventional way to look. Yes, I do like to harp on the health side of things, but you can exist healthy in a form that is different from what other people like to consume and like to see. And that is completely fine. Live your life and do you. I want to highlight and double down on the fact that when I say all of these body and health and like whatever things, they're personal goals with me. Like they're just Chuka likes to get on to the pitch with my boots on, like ready to play a game, and know that if it had to be an 80-minute game, that it'll suck, but I'll make it to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when I see somebody that is 5'6" have the gall to stand in front of me on a basketball court, I want to make sure that they understand that my nuts will be at their face when I dunk the ball. And so I want to be able to do these athletic things without to say it like that.
Because low-key, if you're not bouncy or if you're not strong and you're tall for nothing going against a short person and then they're bodying you though, you know what I'm saying? That's a bad look, bro. That's a bad look.
This is how I felt, bro, because when I lost all the weight before I started hitting the gym, so I just got skinny before I got swole, right? Because usually you do like, yeah, but it was just crinkling of paper. But you do types of cutting, you do things, there's different cycles. I was sick for a second when I lost some of the initial weight before I pumped up and, you know, became the guy y'all see today. But, nigga flexed. I'm sorry. But anyways, like at that point, I remember I was at the gym hooping just because this was when I was doing only cardio and not lifting, right? And fucking, I remember Lucci being their rapper, you know, just like one of the famous people go everywhere in Atlanta because they're regular people too, just in case people didn't know. But he was in
sometimes they can't afford the real.
He was in there hooping, and niggas
sometimes
short.
They just need LA Fitness
for sure, but niggas short and stocky as hell, boy. Like, I remember once this nigga was trying, like, I did not expect Lucci to be this stocky on everything, bro. I saw him, I was like, oh, this is free lunch. Like, bro, I'm about to collect, bro. What's up?
This guy's either barbecue chicken or cookies.
I came up, I was like, it's collection time. Like, what? I'm guarding him. I called Lucci out. I came straight up for the one-on-one. Bro, this nigga won. He was like, you know how I know entertainers at the studio be literally just doing 3-point contests? Because these niggas be good at splashing threes with nobody on them.
With nothing else,
like, always though. Like for some reason,
but they're always randomly automatic
and
when
like,
no one's on.
This nigga got a shot for him like this, like it looked like the fucking Trojan. So he's hitting like 4 or 5 threes in a row, and I wasn't guarding him. I was like, all right, fuck it, y'all niggas can't guard this nigga. I got this nigga, whatever, bro. He pulled like the Kobe push, and this is how I knew I was skinny at the time, because this nigga pushed and created like 3 feet of space, no bullshit. Like, and I was like,
you see, when somebody that's considerably shorter than you does that to you, it makes you feel like you got to hit the gym.
No,
you gotta like put back on.
I'm telling you, the reason nigga became Captain America, like really started like
he got bodied by Lucci.
I got bodied by Lucci, and I was like, what? Nah, that's not what we're doing today.
This nigga feeling like Rob Lucci.
Because I swatted one that he went up for a layup like a couple possessions beforehand. But then a short nigga, like every time somebody's short and I'm on the perimeter with them, I always feel like the centers that come out to try to guard, you know, like the short guys, I'm like, oh, this is easy. So I went up for the block thinking I had it. I noticed my hand was up where it would block, but I was like 3 feet away from the nigga. I was like, wait, the push did that much?
How the fuck did this happen?
And so but anyways, that's harping.
I was gonna say, like, I'm kind of happy too though, because like within that whole realm of like fitness and shit, and like trying to get yourself right, because I know we're both trying to tackle our own different things in it, but whatever that our bodies are getting shaped. So for me too, also knowing that I don't have my gym membership anymore, because some gyms are running scams, you know. I'm not gonna say nothing, but some gyms are fucking scams. Yeah, and I needed more high intensity workouts being back home, right? So I'm happy and excited because I went and picked up some tires from a family friend who is a mechanic and added some stuff with like a hammer to my like regimen of things that I plan on doing for myself that are gonna make the diversity in at-home workouts a lot more fun. Because if you do at-home workouts, you know that at a point they become repetitive. So it's nice to have a little bit of like versatility in there.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm excited, man. But
enough of that. And health. The last thing I wanted to harp on was I'm going to be trying to be mostly vegan for like 60 days. And the reason I say mostly vegan is veganism is not difficult, especially in big cities when you have taken the time to find the good alternatives, right? And so, like, I found very good vegan mac and cheese, outstanding in my opinion, personally. I found very good restaurants. I found very good options at restaurants. So I'm fine, and cooking for myself, I'll be cool. But I am going to let myself have pescatarian breaks. Like, definitely if I need some fish, a young nigga's going to get fish. That's why I'm not saying actually going vegan.
Bro, pescatarians might be the way to go, man. That's the best I ever felt in life was when I was just eating, like, salmon and mackerel and just, like, different kinds of fish, bro.
Mm-hmm. But moving right along to the music section, we will start off with some good news. Have you heard the new SZA single, Good Days?
Are you talking about the one that she had the video for, like, where she in the bed and she was singing? Because I feel like that's been out for a minute.
No, like one just came out in the past like week. I know what you're talking about.
Then I don't think I heard that one yet.
Yeah. She had the single cover had like the Carter 3 basically.
Yeah, so but I saw the cover.
It was SZA with like a the face tats and little child.
I was like, oh, that's cold. Kids these days don't even know though.
Oh, you cold? She cold. But shouts out to SZA on that. It sounded about what we'd expect from SZA, to be completely honest. So I'm excited for that leading into the new year of like the next round of TDE projects. Just because
someone who has a bar.
Oh, for sure. She has a bar. She understands that.
I hate expecting stuff from people. Every TDE artist, for the most part, I expect stuff because they've never disappointed.
And they set the bar high. Mm-hmm. You know, like SZA came out in her fucking 2016 drop was one of the best projects of that decade. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you got a bar, SZA. She knows that though. But that single let me know that she is, teetering the bar, and it is where we kind of expect her music to be. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see what she gives us, truly. But do you have any projects? That's Good Days by SZA. Shouts out to TDE. Shouts out to Punch and Them. But do you have any projects that you are highly anticipating for 2021 or not really?
I feel like everybody else, I've fallen into the trap of, obviously I'm going to anticipate the highest anticipated artist, and we've sung his praises on this podcast.
El Chico?
It might be Drake's two biggest fans on this podcast.
El Nino the boy?
Yeah, I need that album ASAP like rock.
You said January, nigga. My birthday's Friday.
I don't know, but besides that, man, like, because I know there was a lot of drops, funny enough, I meant to mention it earlier, that were supposed to happen in 2020 that just never did, so they could all happen here. I'm not anticipating, because if it doesn't come, I'm not gonna let myself get butthurt, but I would love to see a Kendrick album right now. Like, I would be thankful for it. He's coming. That's just, every time he puts out a piece of work, honest to God, it's just a masterpiece. And I know it's a little bit different, so it's hard to compare him to someone like a Drake, because his effects of what he does with his albums are different than what a Drake tries to do. And so you just appreciate what they're trying to get across with their lanes. And so whenever
Drake's my favorite
Kendrick
artist,
drops, I appreciate it.
But though. Kendrick, I will say, out of the Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, Kendrick's the only person that I've cried listening to their project, and it wasn't because of something else happening in my life.
It was Shireen, bro.
It was like just Kendrick, just the emotion he was able to pull out with some of these stories and some of the things he was alluding to, some of the things he was comparing life to, and the things he was drawing. Like, I'm ready for what Kendrick does next for us too. But with this coming, then, since you don't, and I will say 2021 is one of the first years for me that is somebody that is such a big fan of music. It's one of the first years that I don't really have huge anticipations to change that, to be honest. Like, this is one of the first years that it's like the way we've been being fed music, right? It's kind of at a point where I'm excited and stoked when I hear something's coming, like, but
there's so much you don't really have to like be waiting up for anything.
It's not like in January of 2013 when we knew Mac, Kanye, Hove, and fucking Cole were all dropping in June, that we're sitting there amped.
No, my ass. First off, my ass didn't know. My ass was just blessed when it happened. I was like, oh, my favorite artist dropped something. Oh, that's dope. Like, okay, no, I take that back. The Cole drop was the only one that I was like, I know exactly when this is dropping, when it's dropping.
I was sitting there itching, waiting for these fucking.
Because I was a J. Cole stan, but
now it's just like, with that being
surprised though, Isaiah Rashad for sure.
Isaiah, Lil Baby, and Drake are the three that I'm really anticipating. Everybody else will be a bonus, and I'll be happy to hear. We have heard the rumor mills of Kendrick, Drake, and a Cole dropping this year for sure. Do you think that
you're anticipating Lil Baby? He has nothing to prove. Fuck something to prove. He has nothing to prove.
He has nothing left.
That nigga gave us everything.
He gave us so much, and I'm still anticipating because he has his group project he's dropping. He's pretty sure of, which this nigga about to black out. Like, the snippets, wow. But I have an interesting discussion
Yeah.
then music-wise then for you. With Kendrick Cole and Drake dropping and them all being in their mid-30s at this point, we're watching the change of the guard in a lot of things. We're watching like the hot person, male or female, kind of being changed. Music, we're watching kind of the shift happening to like the people we grew up watching their 20s and watching them kill it, like those three kings, because they were the kings for a while. That's the bar when we talk to the umbrella in rap music. And so now that they're transitioning to the legend side and kind of getting out the way, it's not even that. It's with those three, all of them have kind of alluded to their retirements coming soon. Right? Drake made a mention about 35. He's 34.
Yeah, but that was before, because I think he talked in that Rap Radar about how, bro, he doesn't, as he gets closer to those ages, he doesn't ever want to retire.
That's what I was going to ask. Like that, Kendrick saying the next one's going to be his last project, kind of alluding to that. Cole said explicitly, like, he has the next 3 now because he showed like the outline of projects or whatever coming, but like it coming close to the end. 1, do you believe these niggas? 2, if you don't believe these niggas, why?
It's a little bit tougher when I've never done what they did at the level they did. I don't think in any capacity they'll ever stop making music. I just don't believe that, because there's things that I know at my young ass age I love to do, like loved so much. And if there's ever an opportunity for me to do it, even if I have to wait like a month, a week, where I don't do it every day, if I have the ability to, I'm going to keep doing it until I lose the ability. And I'm not even getting paid for it. These people, if they're really loving what they're doing, you know what I mean? I don't think there's ever going to be a point where they just never make music again. You might get the single. It might taper off to the point where you're getting a single every 5 years. Like, you might not see much of them to where they might as well be out of the game. But they will be making music. They just are going to remove themselves from the limelight, because that is different on somebody's mental. And, like, just actively. It's like being an NBA player. Obviously, it's not the same. I know your body at some point, like, gives out on you. But it's constantly trying to train, trying to compete, trying to do all of this, and trying to be at the forefront of it. At some point, you want to step back and just like enjoy it as a hobby, but not necessarily as a career.
See, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, I have 3 different paths for all of them, so we'll see where the predictions go. Like Drake, I see
making music more consistently.
I see Drake making more music more consistently than the other 2, but kind of in like a Hove vein, to like where Jay drops every 1 to 3 years, like something in that range, and he'll drop singles here and there, drop verses on people's shit. His presence is still felt, but he's still not considered quote unquote
he's working
active.
on more like catered projects for what he thinks he wants to be a part of.
And so I think Drake's going to fall into that kind of vein. He's going to be very heavy with the acting and doing shit like that. Like doing shit that he wanted to do post-career. I think Cole might actually really pull the most disappear to where like we see a Cole feature every like 2-3 years maybe.
But the thing is, we might never see it. But his homies that are around him, he's going to be thriving.
Mind you, all of these I want to underline with they're all making music the rest of their life. This is just what we see. Cole might make 30 projects a year that we just never hear again, because I feel like he's so ready to just dip. Kendrick, I see doing the people I believe in and people that inspire me, kind of like Andre 3000. Because Andre's retired, but this nigga still raps basically like once a year, and that's whatever inspires him, whatever gives him life. I think that's the vein that Kendrick's gonna get into personally.
You know what's funny? I feel like I agree with you on the Drake, but for the Kendrick and the Cole, just to say something real fast, not to dwell on it, I feel like the Cole is going to be I'm going to pop out once a year or so, not because I feel like people inspire me, they might, but more so I feel like, I'm doing it for the kids, bro. I got a message for these kids and trying to like give them a message of like how to grow up a little bit more effectively and like positively, and like just trying to be like a role model, even if it's on a slower tone, and just doing that at least a little bit throughout the year. I feel like Kendrick is going to be and when the world needed him most, he disappeared on some Avatar shit. And all of a sudden, you just never hear from him. But then he pops up like way later, and he's under like a different moniker. You never see his face, and you never know it's him making music. But all of a sudden, like Lemony Snicket dropped an album, and it's like, yo, who the fuck was this?
Who the fuck is this nigga? But then, okay. I mean, that sounds good for sure for the 3 guys. We'll see what comes up. We see a lot of them already investing into the youth when it comes to just like the next ups. Cole
I don't
with
think that's gonna
Dreamville,
pay out.
Kendrick with Baby Keem, Drake with OVO and them.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what the next gen holds for everything. But moving right along with music news, we want to go ahead and give an Offspace RIP, an Offspace condolences, and a big shout out to the biggest and the greatest supervillain that hip hop has ever known, or the world has ever known, in my personal opinion. And that is MF Doom, passed away a few months ago, actually. But in Doom fashion, nobody figured out until the day before 2020 ended when his family finally announced it. MF Doom was somebody that meant a lot to most of hip hop. When I say all of hip hop, really, when it comes to the people that really matter in this shit, sorry to sound like that, but to be real, but most of hip hop, MF Doom, that is considered your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Like, that was one of the coin monikers. It's just like, I don't know, just the mystique, just everything from, to be completely honest, I remember Mad Villainy really being when I got into the tip on like his music and everything like that. But I know Operation Doomsday, Food, just like all of his early work and just the work he's been putting out, the singles here and there, the fucking Christmas album, like this motherfucker, every time he makes noise, you feel it in hip hop. And every time somebody comes out, and one of my favorite things in retrospect when it comes to legends, right, is just seeing how the younger generation takes them. You see how most of these kids, and when I say kids, I'm talking about like people my age in the game, right? People a few years older than me, like people that are kind of the it people, I guess, when it comes to music, like shifting the guard, whatever. Like when they talk about inspirations, a lot of them mention Doom. A lot of them talk about Doom's influence.
I just feel bad because it's one of those things that as we just grow up and get older slowly, like legends pass, you know,
40 something,
and so it's some sooner than you want, like a Kobe, like MF Doom, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like appreciate them while they're here, because I know it's myself as somebody who, to be honest, I listen to like a wide range of music, but I in recent years have appreciated hip hop a lot more, right? And so especially from like late high school to just now, and I remember as he was before my time, to be fair, but as I'm like getting more into it and like enjoying, like, I guess the music that I like, I want to know where it came from. So I started listening to older people. He was one of those people that while I heard certain songs, I never got the full discography dive. And I feel like I wish I did that while he was still alive to kind of enjoy it a little bit more in that sense. But because now when you listen to music and you try and share that with others, it's not going to be that same like sharing. It's almost bittersweet, which is like not what I know he probably wanted people to get out of his music.
It's bittersweet, but it's also beautiful, to be honest, for me, because one of the lamest things that I ever see online are people passing, right? Legends passing. And then like the younger generation being like, oh, who is this? Or like, what's going on? Blah, blah. And then old niggas being like, oh, you weren't fucking with them while they were alive, bro. Leave that shit alone.
It's like, bro, I was like 6.
You feel me?
I was
like,
young.
You can't gatekeep art.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's how people get forgotten, and you don't want
exactly.
that.
So keep spreading his legacy. Keep listening to his music. If people need recommendations, hit the inbox and I got you. But that's definitely a discography worth diving into just to see the evolution, because he's one of those that you'll listen to his music and then certain rappers I won't name, but you may see yourself, you could be like, oh, I see the influence, oh, I see the this.
I just always appreciated the fact that this man really had that big of a Dr. Doom like
oh, this motherfucker
shit, which is like crazy.
This motherfucker had a fucking stand-in for him at most concerts, bro. This nigga was really having somebody go rap his shit with him. Like,
that's a genius.
That's so fire. That's swag.
He just took one of the creepiest villains to me, but I loved it.
I love that man. R.I.P. MF Doom. Like, shouts out to Doom for real. Shouts out to his family. Our prayers, condolences, and everything we got for the Offspace goes out to that nigga this week. That being said, moving right along in music news, Dr. Dre, hip hop legend, went to the
For Tough,
for sure. Went to the hospital, suffered a brain aneurysm, and was rushed to the hospital. And so we give prayers out for a speedy recovery for Dre.
God, I didn't know you could even survive an aneurysm. And the man, apparently he let out a statement saying, feeling great.
You feel me? Like,
I'm like, well, that's kind of nuts. It kind of gave me hope, bro. Because some things about getting older are kind of scary. Obviously, you never want to have an aneurysm. But if Dr. Dre survived, I think I can too.
It's the will of D, bro. It's the will of D.
Niggas want me.
And the saddest thing though is, which obviously niggas are not laughing at Dr. Dre because that's somebody that I really want a speedy recovery. It's just how fucked up is it that this nigga got rushed to the hospital and then people tried to rob his house the second it was vacant.
Somebody heard the estate was empty and said time to go come up.
Oh
I'm not gonna lie, yo.
What?
Whoever they are, I hope they made it back and were around their friends and their friends really confronted them like, have you no shame?
That's one of those like you and the homies hit a lick and you get
What?
back and you're like, nigga, is you retarded? Like what's wrong with you?
Are you good?
Are you stupid? Like, come on now. Like be real with yourself.
That's just embarrassing, bro.
That's embarrassing.
If this is the Breakfast Club, this is that donkey of the day behavior.
That's super donkey.
I feel like they got that copyrighted, so I'm relaxed though.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's super Balonde oof.
Balonde oof.
And so definitely wishing the speedy recovery for Dre. Just to take a small intermission from sad news before we get into all of the Senate races and the stuff going on. You said you had some privilege or poverty for me today.
I do actually, I might leave off one of them because I just threw it in there as being like a salty young man. But I might, I'll sneak it. We'll see. But you guys already, if you've been rocking with us for a little bit, you know what privilege or poverty is. So basically, I'm going to ask Chuka about a few different topics and see what his mental is around them and if they are privilege or poverty. And so I'm going to start off. And the first one I have for you today, something that I know you partake in a lot. So you have to have a good opinion. Brunch, privilege or poverty?
Privilege. Brunch is a privilege. There's a perception being thrown out, right, into the base of the United States right now that is kind of taking brunch into poverty because these niggas and these hoes are going out and making a fool of themselves at the time where we're supposed to be enjoying some good cooked eggs and we're supposed to be enjoying some good champagne with a drop of orange juice in it. You feel me? Shouts out to mimosas. And I'm not even talking about the girls that are putting the torque air in the eggs and in the French toast because guess what? I love the freedom and happiness of women enjoying themselves and having a great time. That makes every vibe better. Now I'm talking about you lame ass niggas and I'm talking about you lame ass hoes that's coming around and ruining the fucking vibe. But guess what? We still make sure to make it a vibe every single time. And I catch a vibe every single time because my favorite meal of the day is breakfast food. Never at breakfast time, nigga. So it's a privilege to be out there.
Ladies or gentlemen, you heard it here first. Privilege. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one. Birthday parties. As someone that is turning 27, what do you think? Are birthday parties privilege or poverty?
That's a hard one, to be honest. Like, just because
I don't come with the easy shit.
I'm 50-50 on this one, so I may have to lean towards privilege, but here's why. It's a privilege depending on the situation and depending on the case, right? Because I won't go into explicit detail about how I spent my birthday last year, but I will say that
it was a movie.
It was one of the best birthdays of my life because it was just me, my brother, and my roommate, right? We were just chilling. And I am somebody that enjoys the spotlight at all times, super attention whore, whatever people want to call me, cool. But that being said, it's like those like holidays and birthdays and things like that have always been weird times for me to have that spotlight. I've always felt weird about it. I've always kind of felt like, but I think birthday parties can be privilege and are a privilege when you truly have people around you that love you and you're truly surrounded by nothing but good energy. So it's not like a superficial ordeal. It's not like a typical weekend where you're
it's
out.
Not like you're trying to show out for like clout or some weird shit. It's like I'm really just appreciaking making it around another year.
You're not out with 30 people that you're really friends with 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's clicked up like, smiles, we look the best. Like, no, like, nigga, I'm like, for me personally, it's a privilege to be around a good group, even if it's huge, even if it's small, whatever, of just people that love me like I love them. That's it. And that's a privilege to me always.
You know what? That turned out a lot better than I thought it would. So we're going to keep it going, though. All right. And I have 2 more, but I might go ahead and just do one more because, to be fair, I feel like one of these is probably just for me. So, vacation, privilege or poverty?
Oh my God. Vacation, let me say, Mark, I know you listen to these. This is where you want to go ahead and skip a few seconds.
It's a tune out for a little bit.
You got to tune out for a second because vacations, my nigga, are a privilege. Like, even, like, the whole spectrum of vacations are a privilege. Okay. Even if it's a vacation with somebody that you both know, y'all have no interest in dating each other, and you're literally just going to catch a vibe and leave. Like, vacations are when you get the nastiest. Vacations are like, there's a balcony clearly looking at somebody.
Wait. Can you do that? Can you do that with somebody? Realistically, most people, I know some people can, obviously, and if you're vocal enough and communicating and real with yourself, you could do anything. But can most people really go on vacation with somebody that they're not trying to date, fucking trying to create that vibe?
Yes.
And come back to the same city.
This is my segment.
And come back to the same city.
This is my segment as a go offer. I demand my time. I demand my time. I demand my time.
Oh, no.
Yes. That being said, we're going to take the host side out of it because the host side of vacations is outstanding. But even on the lover side, like, I'm telling you, dog, like, truly, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be somebody that gives energy where energy is due, right? Because I like to come and teach a lot of lessons when it comes to past situations and past relationships that I had, just so people, A, don't make those mistakes, but B, learn from some of the mistakes I've made and grow and go further.
Communicate the expectation.
But I will come here and sit and talk about positives all day. And one thing that is a super positive is somebody you love, somebody you like deeply, like whatever state y'all are in, being in another location, in a hotel, Airbnb, or whatever, bro. Y'all can be in the middle of Idaho. Y'all could be on the beach. Y'all could be wherever. And I'm telling you, that is a motherfucking vibe. Because there is no situation that it is me and my queen that, A, we're not about to get disgusting. B, I'm not about to just get slizzard with my queen. C, we're not about to catch the vibiest of vibes. Like, I'm talking good music, good drink. If you're into it, baby girl, good smoke. Like, I'm talking about wherever we go.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
We don't do that.
It's
only legal states, baby.
A lot of legal states.
You know what I'm saying? Only legal states, baby. But I'm saying
we're good.
That is a super privilege. And you should never take for granted those moments, because even when shit ends, those are things that you will look onto positively for the rest of your life.
It was a good time. Honestly, sometimes it's fuck the person, but regardless, it was a vibe. That's good, man. You know what? I'm not talking about any moves, but we're trying to create a vibe.
Oh, people will know about our vibe, but January and February of this year is going to be planning and making ourselves into exactly who we want to be, and that's all we're going to say on that. Moving right along, my nigga, to the... Shouts out to Georgia for being Jimmy Butler.
I live in a liberal state. My state is blue, bitch.
All right. Shouts out to Georgia for putting the team on their back again. Because we did it for the election, and we had to do it for the Senate this time. Yeah. We came out in droves, and look, and Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff both ended up winning their Senate seat, and now has overturned the Senate. That being said,
it's 50-50 now with Kamala being the decider, and you know how that goes.
And so we want to give congratulations where congratulations are due to those two men. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you practice what you preach and we see what you help to bring forth in this country. But the number one person that I want to congratulate and the number one person I want to thank and sing her praises is a black woman by the name of Stacey Abrams. Because Stacey Abrams lost the governor race by bullshit, as we saw in 2018. Mm-hmm. But when she lost that governor race, she has spent every day tirelessly. They unlocked the demon, which is why you should always look at losses as lessons and see that it may have a greater purpose for you in life.
Because I'm not gonna lie, bro, at the end of the day, she spent a lot of time and money to take an L that was undeserved, and that break the best people. Break the best people. We've seen career politicians be like, you know what, I'm gonna sit back. Being mayor isn't that bad. Like, doing this isn't that bad, and they just never try and go where they want to create the best change in the world. She said, nah, fuck all of that. Organize to get the crazy voter turnout, a more efficient voting process,
fight against all voter suppression in the best way that she can, and show the United States what people have been saying for generations about the South. Is the South is not as fucked as y'all think the South is in comparison to the rest of the United States, because we see fucked everywhere. It's
the
just
South's more blatant with certain shit, but obviously it's not going to be as bad when people are more progressed and not getting voter suppression and things like that going on.
Exactly, because the laws we have in place in the South don't allow a large chunk of the population to vote. The way that they set this shit up, the large chunk of the population feels like their vote doesn't matter. It feels like their vote isn't going to really change anything. It's not going to be possible for them to do. Stacey Abrams hit the ground running to change that fact and was the pinnacle that helped cause the change in the election when it comes to the presidency and helped cause the change in the Senate election. So big shout out to Stacey Abrams.
I just want to say right now, look, it's such a beautiful time because there's realistically, I think, nothing that like Democrats don't have to kind of push the agenda of the people, of what people have just been asking for these years now when it comes to the environment, civil rights, whatever. And it's just a beautiful time to have no obstruction for the fact that if they don't get shit done, oh my goodness,
Nigga.
people are about to rage. And it's going to be nice because it's like, now we know, all right, we stop fucking with like this methods and we're going to figure out some other shit.
They own everything but the Supreme Court. I'm telling y'all niggas right now, if shit do not change, and I don't even mean substantial crazy change, I'm talking about basic shit niggas have been asking for. I promise y'all next election, y'all are going to see Chuka. I'm going to look like a blood with how much red I'm wearing, nigga. I'm going to be out there dancing, ready to vote for the next Republican candidate, bro. Because I'm about to try that side. Because like I told y'all many times before, I am with the people. And so if y'all niggas talk your talk and don't do shit for the people, guess who we're trying again next time?
We're going to go on to the other side and just see what happens. Like, first off, I'm waiting on my 1,400. I got 600 of it. I'm waiting on the other 14. That's the first and foremost. But yeah, man, I don't know. That was pretty cool.
And then
we in sports now?
No. We have to talk about the riots and loot.
Oh, I forgot about the biggest shit possible.
The rioters.
I don't know what time we're in because we probably should spend more time on this. But we've been talking for a fucking minute. I'll let you go ahead and get into it.
For sure, we'll talk about the rioters and looters because we're gonna refer to them the correct way.
The terrorists.
If we want to be sorry, I was even undermining the terrorists, the domestic terrorism that happened today. Once the Senate seats were turned, the Proud Boys, a big part of the MAGA Nation, and Confederates, like whatever, came together in unison, in racist unison. The neo-Nazis, all the good boys in America, they came together and they stormed the Capitol building. And one thing I want to say, just for certain, is we remember during the BLM protests, right? We got to talk my shit a little bit here. I'm talking to y'all niggas. Let me use the ESGO point. I'm talking to y'all niggas. All right, so I remember during the BLM protest, something slight, my guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember it looked like you're do you remember in Endgame when all of the Avengers and that whole Marvel universe came to attack Thanos' group? Yeah, that's how the American government set up against black people and people fighting for the rights of human beings who were unjustly killed.
Almost like I saw more officers, cop cars, and helicopters than I saw protesters.
No, every single time. It's almost like we saw military-grade vehicles, military-grade weapons, military-grade outfits ready and suited up just in case that these people that were fighting against, people unjustly dying decided to protest. So then how come today, hold on, I have to ask you a question. You're a smart man. I think you're a smart man. Brilliant. So. That's a smart nigga. Look at him. That is a smart nigga. So how come, in your humble opinion,
that's all I can be.
The Capitol building, that's a big building in America, right? The Capitol, right?
You would think,
right? Senators, representatives, people gather in that building. You feel me? Congress in general. And so, how come the Capitol building, which I'm telling y'all, when the BLM protests happened, niggas couldn't even get on the same block. As government buildings. So how come the Capitol building got stormed today by these peaceful protesters?
Well,
and how come they were taking pictures like it was tourism attractions in multiple areas in that building? How come they were fighting cops and there were no shots shot?
That's a good question, Chuka.
One person died today?
That was a good question, Chuka. Actually, I think I saw a video, and I'm not Batman. I'm not Sherlock Holmes, but I got some deductive reasoning. I was watching it, and it looked for a second to me that like they got let in. It's almost like, Jerry, who was the guard on duty, was just like, what, these people look angry, and, I don't want to let them in, but I'm just going to because there's a lot of them, and I don't think they're going to cause harm because they're good people.
Oh, the good people, the good folks. Because I remember Trump, your boy, the leader of the new school, that nigga tweeting out something like, be sure to go out and protest today, and like, blah, 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 but be safe, be peaceful, winky face. So I guess people were able to read the virtual winky face.
I think they were.
The police looked like they were trying to have conversation with these people, and they were trying to de-escalate the situation. But I thought they were trained to kill.
It could be that Jerry's related to some of the people that were protesting. But I remember when it was BLM, he turned into Rambo because motherfucker learned how to really start shooting. And he wasn't missing, you know what I'm saying?
Remember how many people were concussed, lost eyes, or had cracked skulls
over civil rights, yeah.
From rubber bullets over civil rights?
Yeah.
And how many people died in these protests? How many people lost family members, lost siblings?
Yeah.
But today, after they stormed the Capitol building of the United States, by the way, domestic terrorism,
trying our
look it up.
democracy.
How come I think one person passed and there were a few injured? But other than that, it seems like people are cool. Do you think, just using you, because obviously we can't predict the future. We don't know what's actually going on here. We're just two humble people that have a podcast. So I want to ask, in your opinion, do you think the BLM protesters would have been able to go in and sit on those chairs and take those pictures and be around all of the American history that the MAGA group was going on a kind little field trip to go see today?
Hold on, that's a good question. Let me pull up my color gradient. How light of skin tone are we going? To how dark?
They're in the vicinity of darks like us.
Anything past cocoa, they're getting fucked up.
Oh, getting fucked up.
Fucked up.
And so we need to remind y'all, A, if you refer to these people as protesters, go fuck yourself. B, I wanted to use better language on this podcast because my mother does tune in. But guess what? This is something I'm passionate about. So once again, refer back to A and go fuck yourselves. C, I want to go ahead and say as well, if you are one of these people that, once again, we understand that if stuff doesn't happen to you or happen to people that look like you or happen to people in your vicinity, I understand psychology. You know what I'm saying? Like, we understand that sometimes it is harder to empathize with and it is harder to understand, right? But when you see on a piece of paper 1 + 1, what is the actual answer?
I think, in my humble opinion, it's 2, right?
It's 2. And so when you see domestic terrorism brought to the doorsteps of the American fucking people, when you see the Proud Boys talking to the police officers like they're the off-duty brethren that they fucking know and identify with and leaving them be.
Whoa, because we're not even going to say all of them, because I saw some police officers very hesitant on throwing the hands back, but some of them Proud Boys were trying to get those police officers' hands. So if blue lives truly matter, blue lives truly matter to you,
because I was looking at their uniforms and their skin is blue, right?
I thought
the police officers, because blue lives do matter, don't they? Not anymore. Not when you don't get your way. Oh, so that is a metaphor for everything that's been happening in America for 400 years that black people have been saying, and y'all have been saying we've been crying wolf till the age of social media where you can't actually deny what you see in front of your eyes on video.
I hope this is a good moment for people who truly thought that they were just self-righteous to some other extent to realize that they were probably jaded and didn't realize that they were aligning themselves with neo-Nazis, fascists, white supremacists. I hope that they're taking this moment to be like, damn, I might have fucked up, and I might need to realign my ideas and my thoughts and kind of do some soul searching because shit's looking fucked.
Because all jokes aside, that was great though, definitely great. But all jokes aside, I have to say one thing. That is, this is not a Democrat issue. This is not a Republican fucking issue. This is a civil rights issue. This is a person-to-person issue. This is a fucking human rights issue. And so when we look at it, yes, little fucking Billy, you calling your black classmate when you are 17 a nigger isn't going to ruin his life or isn't going to kill him. But guess what? The other quiet white people sitting in that room that allowed that to happen told him it wasn't that big of a deal and told that little black boy that he was just over-exaggerating and freaking out and that he was tripping, created an environment to which that was okay. And yes, this culture is a lot more fucking PC than I'd rather a culture be, where we could all be free to speak, where we could all be free to express ourselves without fear of the repercussions that may be life-ending. But when you create those environments at such a young age, because your doofy-ass dad, your doofy-ass mom, your doofy-ass grandma, your doofy-ass grandpa, and so on and so forth, kept preaching that this shit wasn't that big of a deal, because you're using verbiage that you clearly heard at home. When you keep creating that environment, guess what you breed and create? the people that are these Proud Boys, the people that are the white supremacists, they didn't start off on level 10. They started off on level 1. But every single one of those rooms that they walked into with our quiet ass white friends, or I'm talking to everybody, my friends, I'm talking to white people I consider family, I'm talking to all y'all motherfuckers. Every single room they stepped into where each microaggression was allowed and each microaggression was dismissed as nothing, multiplied, and they created the motherfuckers that y'all are telling us are the minority of you. So yes, it is the minority. Yes, white people aren't as a whole fucking racist. No one is stupid. But yes, you guys are the breeding ground and the reason that these motherfuckers get created. So if you learn how to check yourselves and you learn how to listen to people when they talk, instead of telling every LGBT member they're crying wolf, telling every person of color they're crying wolf, and you learn to fucking empathize for 2 seconds, because my life has been better than most people's. My life is continuing to be better than most people's and will be from a place of privilege. But guess what? I have the privilege in myself to be a black man. So I will always be able to empathize with the plight of my people.
Yeah. And dude, I feel like I'm not even gonna turn it on a lighthearted note, because I don't want any of the message to kind of be taken in taken in the wrong way and removed from what is the most important thing here. It's just like, at this point, if you truly think you're a good person, which I know a lot of people try and tell themselves to make it easier to fall asleep at night, just do some reflecting on who you align yourself with and what's going on, because I don't like to make things like a political issue like that, but it feels like when one side is trying to hold on so hard to a stance that is against human rights, you have to ask yourself, like if it is at that point, you really should be, is that the hill you want to die on? You know, I like to consider myself a moderate person prior to 2016. I don't think the same way anymore. I probably lean more left now, just knowing who I am. Like,
so I was the same way, my boy. Like, I could like to consider myself a moderate person too, but when it comes to the fact that human rights issues are not a moderate issue, like, you know, we have to call a spade when it comes to certain.
I thought we get past that chapter, but to be fair, I think it's one of those recurring bosses, and Bowser just keeps showing up as
Bowser won't die,
and Bowser stealing Peach is essentially America spitting in the face of POCs. But it's all good. We're moving on to more important, not more important. Let's say. Less
more lighthearted. Yeah. More lighthearted. So we will move on to the more lighthearted end of the podcast, which tends to be the sports section. But before we get to the sports section,
we're going to make this one a knockout.
For sure. Jesus. But before we get to the sports section, I wanted to ask Ezgo, just to reset the room a little bit, what have you been watching lately?
A lot of porn.
Other than porn. Me too, nigga. I whack every day.
I don't, bro. So, I know you're being honest. Is that? That's the DJ's iPad. I don't know. I've just been watching like Titans, which is funny because I found some more superhero content. If you know me, I love superhero shit. And Titans is the HBO show that I ended up getting once, you know, I got HBO Max to watch Wonder Woman, you know, the fall of it. So basically, watching this show, they do everything that the CW wanted to do but couldn't for whatever obvious reasons, past being like a certain channel, they can't show a certain level of like darker shit. And on top of that, it's not the power of friendship overcomes all and we just figure things out. Shonens. Yeah, but at least they get to it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen, first off, Naruto and that pain shit, bro. You've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Jiraiya, like, they don't sugarcoat some things. No, but this is nice. So I really enjoy the show, and it opens up like off rip. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but they get to it with characters that you're traditionally used to not seeing do a thing. So I appreciate it. It's almost like the late 2010s take on superheroes that you see in the form of like The Boys and other things that are like, come on now. Like, if they were really superheroes running around, things would not go as casually as you think. So.
If we think that fucking American presidents and just like American people in general can be so money hungry and can be so greedy that when they get a glimmer of power, you see the change and the corruption. You think niggas that is born with the power to punch you in the face and send you to Mexico are gonna be the nicest people always?
You think none of them ever caught a body like on accident? You know,
be real.
Yeah. So I've really enjoyed Titans. I know you don't really watch it like that. So, but what have you been watching?
There was a show, and I forgot the name, so I feel so bad, so I'll skip over that one for now. But it was about like a flight attendant and like a murder. It started off really cool, so I want to go and finish that.
I know what you're talking about.
For sure. I forgot what it's on. But there's another show, Bridgerton that I started.
You on those?
AJ recommended to me, friend of the show, and she recommended it to me like a few weeks ago. I kind of like, you know how I am sometimes. Like it takes a second to really start something. Most of the time I put stuff on a list, but started it, and that show's actually really good. So I'm excited to get into it, excited to finish it. The way it started off is, I'm not going to give like huge spoilers or anything like that, because there was a couple in there. But it was one, a ding ding ding, easiest sell for Chuka, period piece and British accents.
I didn't stand a chance.
I didn't stand a fucking chance. I'm a simple man. Bro, British accents aren't easy enough sell for me.
At this point, they kind of get me.
Like, nah, I was sold. But B, just like about women being auctioned off basically once you get to a certain age.
Yeah.
And all your life is about is marriage.
I saw that
kind of stuff. So it seems like a really interesting show. I'm ready to get into it.
Was it like one of those where it was... The concept was really interesting, and especially how they like showed it and played it out.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
It's for sure. I don't want to get into more details because it kind of spoils things. I can kind of see where things are going, but I'm excited to watch regardless. Yeah. But other than that, just on an anime side, the typicals with the Jujutsu, which is... That Jujutsu is getting crazy.
It's crazy because how much I love Jujutsu Kaisen.
Are we running out?
I've not seen a show that Demon Slayer hasn't been just better than.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, that might be the best anime I've ever seen.
No,
I really just need to
keep bullshit. I don't want to call it already because we've only seen one season, but that might be the best anime I've ever laid my eyes on, like in my whole life. That's what I was about to ask you, nigga. If no one wants to go with us, just so we don't ruin the experience, do you want to split a theater and just us two watch the Demon Slayer? Because with Demon Slayer, because they're gonna do a limited American release soon, and Atlanta caught like the Dragon Ball Supers and shit like that. So I'm
gonna find like one of the theaters that's running.
Nigga, I'll drive an hour,
bro.
Easy. I might drive a couple.
I don't know if it's going to be in one of those where you have to social distance, or if the theater because AMC's are the ones where you can rent out. If AMC's showing it, I'm there.
I'm renting. You know what I'm saying?
I've been trying to. I'm not saying I do illegal activity. I've been trying to find it online.
I am saying that, bro. I've been looking. I've been looking everywhere until those Blu-rays come out, bro. It's y'all niggas on the internet are not gonna have it. So I'm just waiting for the American release because nigga, I'm gonna enjoy that in theaters. Niggas gonna be watching it like this.
And have you seen the latest episode? I know you did. I know you saw the latest episode of Black Clover because this is the first time an episode was ever watched before me. And you could tell that they're off the filler because A, the animation looks better again, but B, it's like, are you excited for it? Because it seems like they're about to get into some
it's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy. I wish this nigga asked to Gru, but other than that, it's about to get crazy.
He grew wide.
He literally just got swole. He literally ascended. Because this nigga just like, you could tell, I can't wait for him to actually get into the nitty gritty of big fights. Because you could tell he's OP now.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell he's OP
he's out of here.
Sure. You can tell it's the Shonen power up where the main character randomly becomes OP. Like Naruto and Shippuden, because Naruto was kind of just like with the pack, like whatever. But then Shippuden, there was a point where he just became like the clear, he's going to be the Hokage or Sasuke.
Because in Shippuden,
it was like, no, it was one of them two niggas.
It wasn't like immediately after time skip, he's just like different, Immediately after time skip, I'm like, oh, he's finally one of the better people in their class. Because before, realistically speaking, bro, until the end of Naruto, he wasn't.
Oh, for sure.
He was getting watched by a few of them.
Bro, what? Like, if you were only going off of the original Naruto, it was the strongest were either like Gaara, Neji, like fucking
Rock Lee, Sasuke, all beating him.
And then you get to like halfway through Shippuden, and then there was a clear like, oh, this nigga's stronger than everybody.
It's like, oh, this nigga was Hokage's basically.
Nah, but Black Clover said fuck waiting half of anything. They said the second you saw the first like scene of the fucking the time skip of the 6 months, oh, this nigga's stronger than everybody.
Bro, 6 months, this man looks like he put on 100 pounds. That's all I'm saying.
Muscle.
That's all I'm saying. Straight muscle. I don't know what the workouts were, but they were crazy. I'm trying to get put onto that.
Nigga, I'm telling you something. If they make us, if we go watch the Demon Slayer shit, and then I'm just letting you know, if we have a theater to ourselves, I'm gonna wave at you because we're sitting across the theater from one another. like I'm saying,
I'm sitting directly in the middle.
No, I'm sitting here
middle
like
row, middle seat, and just
nigga just meditating.
It's the whole experience.
I might have to be off gas. No, I don't even want to fake miss anything.
I don't want to accidentally not remember it. Because I want to make it literally a movie.
But, so moving right along to the sports section. One of the first things that I wanted to drop, just because we did mention this before and said that we were both about to be Man City fans. Now, Messi is finally free to negotiate the trade and the leave. He's expressed a lot of disdain for Barcelona and the current system, current ownership, all of that shit as of recent.
Some positives came out of it. Because, he now has I'm trying to get the verbiage right, but he is the highest scoring player ever at one club. So like the most scores scored through one person being at one club, he's taken that title away from, I think, the last person who had it, and then the person before them was Pele, I think. So he's set himself apart no matter what, and Barcelona, he owes nothing to them.
Nothing. If anything, they owe him the rest of their lives. Because like for our age and older, the name Barcelona... Really, yeah, about your age and older, the name Barcelona is immediately associated with Leonardo.
There was a time where it was Ronaldinho, but as soon as that transitioned, it never looked back.
It never looked back. And it's Messi till we're gone. Till we're gone. It's one of those imprints. And so shouts out to his time at Barcelona, but I'm excited to see if he does make the either A, PSG move, because they just have unlimited bread, and Neymar said, hey, I want to play with my best friend, or... B, if he makes the Man City move. Because he did already admit that a few years down the line he does want to play in the MLS. So the Man City move with the connection to the New York club would make sense.
It would. I would rather see the PSG.
I want to see the PSG
but
move.
Just because I know the team is a terror. Like, there's too many pieces.
And he'd be in a retirement league, basically, with Neymar? What?
Right, it's a retirement league of PSG. That's weird to say.
Because it's there. I think anything is a retirement league when you know the team that's going to win the league every year. Like, at least Spain, there's a handful that have competed, right? So it's always been Real Madrid or Barcelona. Sometimes Atletico's come here and there. But I mean, like, Germany, it's Bundesliga. Bundesliga is instantly Bayern Munich. You know Bayern Munich's winning every single year. Get over yourself. Like France, Ligue 1,
basically.
Ligue 1, it's PSG every year. So
obviously going to like the Prem would be way more competitive and would be like more interesting, especially to like a wider range of fans.
He could do it, but I feel like he's at the age where he wants Neymar to do a backflip and his little dance, and him to smile and say, "My son." You know, just be on the.
I'm not trying to be that guy, especially for the amount of love and like just respect I've gained for British culture. He's not trying to be there right now. You feel me? Nah. He's not trying to be anywhere near there right now. No offense. This man said, I'm trying to enjoy a vibe.
And it's going to be the roughing the passer shit every game.
Oh my
God. He's going to go to the Prem. And don't get me wrong, I think he'd still be a terror in the Prem. Y'all niggas cannot stand with Messi. Y'all know this. Trust me. But because they know this, these niggas are going to be playing him like fucking Devin Booker gets played on the offseason in runs. It's going to be doubles and all
season. Why are you double teaming me?
And so it depends on if he wants more of a challenge or if he wants the automatic Champions League bid every year that you may do something.
It would be fire though to say that you got like some, I don't know, like
if he conquered the Prem though, then it would be one of those, like, he's already undeniably the greatest of all time, but it'd be one of those that shuts up a bunch of people.
At such an older
because they're the
age,
people
too.
that fucking like suck off the Prem all the time and think that if you haven't accomplished anything there, you haven't accomplished anything anywhere. And I'm not one of those people, truly, because most of my adult life, Serie A and
La Liga has always been fire.
Serie A and La Liga have been the two leagues for me for the most competition my whole life. As of recent, who knows, because I'm kind of green ears to it now. Not just saying green eyes, sorry, because I don't view as much, but that is something interesting. Yeah. But moving right along, I want to skim over this one because we have to get to the most important fact. But our dog is trying to scare us a little bit. I know we said we wasn't going to get stressed out this year. I know we said,
dude, I'm not.
And maybe you're not.
Bro. Don't do this.
And maybe you're not, bro. And maybe
I'm not. Genuinely, I already said what I am.
But the second, I try not to, but it's like
you see them doing.
I see something. I see them doing well. Ooh, I see us win the NFC again.
Like, oh, you see some crazy shit. Oh, Kamara got 6 touchdowns.
This nigga Kamara got 6 touchdowns. You know, you're excited. You're like, ooh.
This man got 6 touchdowns and said he was going to Panama City.
And then immediately went to hang out with only white women and got COVID.
It's like, that's tough, bro. First off, I don't believe the fact that he was. Because low-key, we've seen the way white people have been handling COVID, and these white women probably had COVID at that point already. I don't think they were the ones who spread it to him, bro. I'm be honest with you.
Oh,
they did their due diligence to already get COVID earlier, bro. It's been a minute into this.
Oh, yeah, you say it's been too long for white people to still be catching it?
It's been a minute, bro. None of my white friends have COVID. Bro, all of them have already had it. No cap. All of them already had COVID. I'm like one of the few colored people I know that have COVID.
I know, right, bro? We're ashamed.
Wait, who's Kamara? I'm him.
I'm Kamara.
Nah, so dude, honestly, it kind of sucks. You never know how people get these things. Hopefully, I know, bro. He's a fucking unit of a man. If he was taken out by COVID, I'd be surprised. No offense.
I'm just scared because
I'm just kind of sad for our playoff hopes.
We're not getting the Vikings for once to start off, which happens.
That's a blessing. Ain't it a blessing?
Ain't it a blessing? So we're getting the Bears, bro. The way Breeze has been dogging these niggas for the last few years, bro. I have hopes. I have hopes of finally getting past the first round. The fucking curse we've been on.
I'm good,
bro. And so I'm a little worried, but I won't let it stress me out too much. Fine. Moving right along. So, look, Esco, we're two people. We're a podcast that we like to talk up our brothers. You know what I'm saying? We like to talk up our people. And we said, we've heard for the past year or so, a lot of people being a little disrespectful about this next man we're about to talk about. A lot of people acting like he's not one of the terrors in the league. A lot of people doing this. A lot of people doing it. And he took it personally. And he took it personally. I'm just saying.
He took it personally.
Have we said anything negative about Stephen Curry?
Not a day in my life.
Have we said anything negative about Wardell?
I only saw his praises.
You know why?
Why?
Because like the rest of y'all,
generational.
We have eyeballs and we watched him play. But y'all,
iconic.
Y'all like to talk down on somebody when they're down. So guess what Steph did? Wait, second oldest person to score over 60 in a game?
Who was that announcer? Then he get hit. Inspirational. Look at Steph. He's so inspirational. Nigga hits a casual three. He's so inspirational.
I don't care what anybody says. And this is somebody that is a Kobe Bryant stan to the day I die, bro. There's a short list of people that are even on Kobe's caliber for me when it comes to how exciting, because that's different, how exciting high-scoring games are for them. And Steph Curry might be one of the most electric players ever in the history of basketball to watch when he's hot. Because that shit, he's half the shots that fell look like heat checks.
Bro, first off...
Because are they, or they practice because it's Steph?
I'm going to say this. Every one of those shots is practiced. And that's what makes it more spectacular. The fact that you know it's practiced. You can't... Because I'm going to walk you through the emotion. Because the shot he sent up to get to 59, that man was probably 10 feet out from the three-point line. He hit the little step to the side into it, off balance over two people to make the three. As he threw it up, I thought to myself, who the fuck does this nigga think he is? Genuinely, I was like, there's no way this is going in. Then like a split second later, I said,
splash.
But it's...
It couldn't have touched the rim.
I said, but it's Steph. And so then I just got quiet and I waited. And then it went in.
Splash. Did it... On everything, all the threes you saw him hit, did any of them hit rim?
He couldn't. If he did, he wasn't Steph. Bro, that man, when he checks into that zone... When he taps into that zone, you can't stop him, and it's the most beautiful shit I've seen.
What? Like, this nigga Draymond airballed a three and Steph caught it for the layup. Like, I'm saying, like, once... People forget that Draymond hasn't been in, but I'm not even trying to be anything on Draymond, just saying somebody that's used to the system. Yeah. People that are used to getting Steph open, he's going to start knocking down the Steph shots we're used to. Because this nigga is a terror.
They know how to play with him.
He's actually a terror.
Steph has to work hard as fuck to get that 28 when Draymond's not in, bro. But when he's there, you see like almost first game back. Yeah, I think it might have been the first game back. He dropped 62 because Draymond's there. Bro, we got to, at some point, whoever was hating on Golden State, because they caught me in it too. I never hate on Steph or Clay or Draymond.
Not once.
Only KD for a bit. And they got me caught up on it. I'm past that. But anybody who can't appreciate what we are witnessing with Golden State, even in 2021, when, to be honest, we shouldn't have these days anymore. If you don't like this, you don't like NBA basketball. That's all I'm gonna say.
Cause like, dog, genuinely, I want to tell y'all this, and I was gonna sit here and shit on y'all and roast y'all, but I want to tell y'all this and just give flowers. Give flowers. You know what I'm saying? I want to say this, and I'm pleading with our audience. I'm begging you guys, truly, like, don't miss these moments and then look back when we're 40 years old and it's over with and then be sad that it's gone, you know? Because we are watching history continuously. We are watching the greatest shooter that's ever played basketball player. We're watching LeBron James, the greatest player that's ever played basketball
Year
player. 18. Year 18. What? Him and AD, 26 piece last night. What? Logo threes, everything. Just cause. Whatever. We're watching some of the greatest players we've ever seen play this game, and we're watching them in their 30s. We don't have many years of this left. I'm just telling y'all, stay tuned, and please watch and be excited like the rest of us, or else you're going to miss a moment. But the next thing I wanted to talk about...
I want to say some other stuff for the NBA, though, because...
No, it's NBA.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro... Look, I know we don't talk about him way too much on this podcast, but you already know how we're rocking. I've not seen, even on lower games when they start giving him more time, and like definitely putting him in like starting minutes. LaMelo Ball is a fun player to fucking watch, man. He's got to improve the defense 100%. He got to get more active on the defensive end. But the amount of effort and just creativity he brings to the offensive end, I don't even care about what he does on the other schlick. Like I know he's gonna get there because it's just fun basketball to watch.
And it's just a special talent, man. Like he looks exciting when he scores, exciting when he facilitates, exciting when he just creates space. Like this is just somebody that, as a rookie, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna have your ups and downs. But I mean, like, I love the fact that he's on an organization like Charlotte, to where they're allowing him to learn and just do whatever, because at the end of the day, like, that's how special players get made. If you take somebody, you give them 10 minutes a game, right, like niggas were doing to Lonzo, and then say, yo, stand in this corner and shoot.
When they were giving him 30 something of, you're gonna be over here,
stand in that corner,
and we're not gonna pass to you,
right?
And if we do hit it,
because you know what these players are, and you saw what you recruited them for, and you saw what they were doing. These are field generals. And if somebody is a field general, you need to let them play their position, right? And so I'm happy to see that for him. One player I wanted to outline, one of the greatest field generals that is currently playing, and somebody that is one of the realest niggas in the NBA, Damian Lillard. Because Dame was talking about Steph not being able to get these same shots up this year because all his niggas is gone. But then he played Dame, scored 62. Steph really got the braids out of his hair, so the blood circulation was going again, and this nigga could think again.
I know he had to be stressed.
Oh, definitely, bro. I've had braids, bro. Those shits, I don't know how y'all women do it as often y'all do, bro. That shit hurts. But anyways, this nigga Dame, as soon as the game was over, he ended up dapping Steph up, talking to him, and just laughing with him about all this shit because he's a real nigga. And then he even quoted the tweet because they showed a video of that, and he said, you can't dish it out and not be able to take it. # respect.
I was saying, man had back-to-back 60-point games or whatever it was, right? Or one was 60 and then one was 55 or something like that. Yeah, nah. Like, at the end of the day, when you peep it, you gotta give people credit. You know?
Sure.
Otherwise, you're hated.
And so, other than that, do you have anything else for the sports segment before we get out of here?
Again, I gotta get in my boxing bag for a second because I think it was last weekend. We got to peep something, you know? We got to peep a very exciting young talent in that lightweight division that is just apparently the most exciting shit right now because heavyweights are in it for some reason. And he got to have a chance finally to prove himself and step into a fight that meant something. Obviously, a lot of these fights mean something, but it means something to even the haters who are like preying on your downfall, you know? Because a lot of people, like, even when it comes to basketball tip with LeBron and shit, are saying like, oh, this didn't mean anything, he got to prove it here, or this, that, and the third. It's like, no, nigga, just doing it does it. But okay, now that you finally had your chance, he did it and he showed people. Ryan Garcia is a fucking monster, bro.
Oh, he's a unit.
The man got, I'm not gonna lie, he got put down for the first time in his career. He got knocked down, but seeing him come up from that, and like a lot of people who have never gone through that experience and probably in that moment with ego and everything might get startled and let it fuck up their mental. He seemed like he popped up like, well, that's different, and then got after it.
This nigga popped up from the knockdown like, well, shit, I guess it can happen to me. And then just killed this nigga.
Oh my God.
And then just killed this nigga. Bro, like, that
knocked out off a body blow, bro, you know that does damage.
The body blow, knockout, you know this nigga was pissing blood for the next 3 days.
Oh my goodness.
You know he was pissing blood for the next 3 days. Like, I want to be, as somebody who's way more casual when it comes to boxing, Ryan Garcia excites me for the sheer fact that we have the Deontay Wilders, we have the Tyson Furies, you know, the people we're still excited to watch fight. But Ryan Garcia, as somebody in that weight class with like a Gervonta Davis, like, I'm excited to see those two become like the spearheads of boxing and become like the new rivalry people are looking forward to in the future. And I want to see them fight. Obviously, like, Ryan Garcia is a little bit ahead of himself by calling him out so early. But I love the passion. Massive. I love the passion in that, because in the next couple years after Ryan Garcia knocks out a couple more people, because he's looking for the dog. So once he knocks out a couple more people or wins a couple more fights and he gets that fight, because he's going to get it, because Gervonta responded. He said there's no running now. Like, once he gets that fight, we're about to be in for a movie.
The thing is,
that's going to be a fucking movie.
I think Gervonta would win it. I think it'd be closer if Garcia got a little bit more experience under his belt with like better competition. But how big of an Instagram following he has, combined with just like how big he is in the realm of boxing as opposed to other boxers, he's going to have a McGregor effect, which is going to get him that fight probably sooner than he should. So at the end of the day, if he wants that shit and he keeps talking about it, he's going to need to prep himself for it. But he works with Canelo, bro. Like, I'm gonna just say something. Like, people like that. I know Gervonta has like I want to say that's kind of crazy. It's like the Mayweather and Canelo like descendants. You like get into it.
I hate making this about race, But boxing is a battle of the nations. Mm-hmm. And I will say this. I'm always riding with my niggas. Except for when it's Tyson Fury versus people. Because Tyson Fury, I'm never betting against. I'm sorry. I've seen that nigga fight.
Licking blood up.
What?
That was the weird... Bro, you saw him do that shot on his neck.
That nigga was licking blood with some pointy tongue energy, bro. Like, I don't even understand it. I don't get it. Shouts out to my homegirls. But
fast as hell at 6'10". Anyway.
Fast as fuck. But other than that, that's all I had for the day. Do you have anything else?
Man, I'm just excited to go ahead and continue life because you already know what the motto is for 2021. It's more life.
More life, we live. So my name is Chuka.
My name is Ezigo.
And this is the Offspace podcast.
Yes,
you can
sir.
find us everywhere. Links below.
Like, comment, and subscribe.